at our school. We've got, as I say, over 30 different nationalities, probably, and in my class alone, they speak 4 or 5 or 6, maybe even different languages in just my class across the whole school. Yeah, so many different languages spoken every day. We've had 2 new arrivals last week. We've constantly got new children. I mean, I know it's like that across Bradford, the intake and people coming and going is so big. But most of the children, they do go home and speak another language, and they actually take pride in the fact that that's happening. And all the languages they share. I'm the only one in my class that doesn't speak another language other than 2 other children. It's something that they're proud of. To get recognition of what we're already doing was nice, actually, because we are doing it as a school, and to work through the process and think, no, we're doing something good. It's, getting the award was sort of, it meant a lot to children. Let's go on to the next slide. So how do we support our families? Firstly, I know Kate said about it being primarily aimed at refugee and asylum seekers. We have a list in our school at the minute, probably 30 or so children actually registered as asylum seeker refugee. But the amount of children that come and go from Pakistan, or they come and go from other countries that they're not actually refugees, but we want them to be recognised and be all inclusive. So we are under the umbrella of we're all welcoming. So that we presented our application. We have a parent cafe each week, which the parents love to come to, and they get speak to each other, they get to support each other, they get to talk to members of staff. Our SDN lead and our deputy leads the parent cafe, as well as our pastoral support lead. So there's always somebody in there. We have food and clothes banks that are always available. I mean, today, for example, we have a child that came in, no uniform, with showered, she was given a uniform. That's an ongoing thing. We're very lucky. We get breakfast given to all the children. So we get an organisation bring us breakfast every week. We've got boxes. If I ever see a bagel again in the supermarket, my tummy goes, because we've got so many boxes in our school of everything, and that gets put out when we've got excess. There's always food given, which is another thing that's good. We have a very good nurture team within our school. It's getting smaller, as you know, funds are getting smaller. It has probably halved in the last couple of years. But the ones we've still got left are very good at helping, signposting needs. We often do dentist runs. We find dentists and children when the refugees, asylum seekers are desperate. We find doctors, dentists. We physically take them in our minibuses. We've got also a really good link to our local church, which has a Shine voluntary organisation working with those. And they have a refugee group working on a Wednesday. So if our parents need help with anything, we can also signpost them across there. So they have food banks and clothes banks as well. And again, just getting the support. We've run English classes often, and we have toddler groups running from our building on a Friday morning, which again is aiming at those parents that aren't speaking the English. They can get together and support with documentation, for example. I mean, it's endless with what we help fill them in. But you can imagine, I've just spent, I think the 1st of March came, and I spent nearly a week physically doing all the applications to different schools for the year 6s that didn't want the schools they were getting, and I'm rewriting forms and I'm sending in the applications for the parents. It's what we do sort of every day for these parents to support them. Technology, actually, in the classroom. I don't know if anybody else is using it yet. We're really new to it. I'd be interested to know if anyone else has used it. We've just bought Flash Academy, which we're getting up and running, which is a translation programme for EAL students. So all our children now who are in need of language help have been registered for Flash Academy. It costs per child, so you have to be quite sort of strict on who you do and who. But we don't know. I don't know how good it is yet, because I've literally been only using it for a fortnight. I'd be interested to know if anyone else uses it. Counselling is another thing that we are quite good on. We have Step 2. So any children that have come across from other countries that have got trauma and are recognised as having trauma, and they can be assessed, and we've got lots of children who are going through step 2 counselling. We've also, through school sanctuaries, we were put in touch with Solace, which has been a brilliant resource. I've got a child in my class that is now going for family counselling, sibling counselling and one-to-one counselling, because his trauma have been such that his mental health is off the chart. So Solace have really helped us with that, and that's something that we've gained through being part of Schools of Sanctuary. You know, that we are getting back being part of this organisation, which is brilliant. One of the biggest impacts as well, I think, that our school has as well, we have our own reverend, we have our own chaplain, which has been a massive help for our children. I think we're at like one of the only primary schools in the country that's sort of running this, as it were. And any child in school that needs the extra support, he's earmarked to work with them. He does one-to-one sessions with them. He takes them out. He does bikes with them. He helps get them to do mini buses things with them. He has all sorts of stuff. He's just got another extra pastoral help. As breakfast, I talked about, we do the breakfast club. We also obviously have the breakfast each morning. And another thing that we've had, again, I got this through being part of School Sanctuary and learning from other schools when I was sort of on this training. The International Rescue Committee is a really good online resource that you can just access, and they have so many different free training that you can sign up for. And I signed myself up for the buddying system training, and that was something, I think that's probably one of the only new things that we actually started in the school to get through, to actually get the accreditation. I think most everything else was already in place. That was the only sort of extra thing that we had to do to put this through. So we now have School of Sanctuary buddies within our school, that when we get new children, they sort of rally round and find other children in the school that can speak the language. I've got children out on the playground with iPads doing translations and finding friends. So that's going on. Translation, we have access through to Enable 2, and as I say, we get parents in, we get peer translation. Training for part of the learning part of the application. When you're actually doing the application, obviously you've got to train up your staff, and then your children are looking at how they're learning from your training. We've introduced My Happy Minds. I don't know if anybody else does that within school either. It's a really nice program that's literally 15 minutes a day. I think quite a lot of schools are signing up for it, but it really makes the children think about their mental mindset. And all the year groups have it, and each children have a little jotter. And on a Tuesday morning, we start our day with a little bit of Mind Happy Minds, and it's breathing, and you learn about how your brain works. We do that, and we also have zones of regulation running in school, which obviously talks about their feelings and which zone they're in. So all of these have really contributed to the children's welfare and feeling sort of listened to, and we can assess how children are feeling. And we have a wrap of wellness recovery action plan training our staff are trained for as well. And children, as I say, I've got a very traumatized child in my class. There's also a whole family we've just recently had arrived that I think each of those child is now undergoing the wrap program to sort of, journal their way through their feelings. We've got that going on. And what else? Unite and Better Aid Trust is something we got through you as well, Kate, aren't they? You gave us those. Yeah. So these, we get sort of pinpointing. You get things, messages off at Kate saying that these organisations can, if you sign up, we can go on trips, you can do this, and it's been lovely. We've been all sorts of places with them. Okay, next one. Challenges. I mean, we won't be different to any other schools in Bradford. I know. I mean, the poverty across Bradford, I'm sure everybody sees it. So just things that we've sort of come up against. The poverty is sort of enormous, and every day we have unseen parents sort of seeking support. And in our school, it isn't just the refugee and asylum seeker families. So, and again, we sort of offer clothing. We have shout out the furniture constantly. We've helped rehouse, rehome, refurnish houses from lots and lots of families. We've got Iraqi refugees and Ukrainian refugees at the moment who have been through trauma, which again, we've helped get into social services provision, we've helped get into the dentist, we've helped translate medical forms, the parents are poorly, we've had to get them help. We've got families who have moved recently from refugees. I'm sure other people have experienced this. They just go from refugee status to suddenly asylum status and they lose their home. And, you know, I've got a girl in my class who found themselves homeless. They were put into a B&B across the other side of Bradford, and they're still wanting to attend our school, and we're having to pick them up in minibuses to get them to our school until they can be rehoused. She actually moved into a new house this weekend, and she came to school really smiley this morning, because they've actually got back into BD5, which is fabulous. And transition to secondary school, something we do. I mean, we filled in loads of the kids' online applications because parents can't do it themselves. And then, as I say, we've just done lots of their, they didn't want to wherever it's schools, we just had to redo their applications for them to do their appeals as well. It's something you end up doing, isn't it, for your families? All this, you document everything. You realise you do all this, and you get your application form. And if you document absolutely everything down, you realise you do every day. It's amazing to see what you do. Okay, so as I say, being recognised then as School of Sanctuary, it just sort of our children and our staff, you know, once you sort of say that all that you do has shown that we can be a School of Sanctuary, it's quite a big, you know, it's a nice achievement because you do it anyway. And it's just sort of, you know, having this has just been nice. And actually, I said to Kate, I think it was last week, we've got in for a treat as well on Wednesday. We have managed to get Dr. Indrajit Bogle to come to school on Wednesday, and he was the person that literally founded This Is a Sanctuary. And we're very lucky because our chair of governor seems to have lots of people's numbers in her little black book. And she's been able to get him to come to our school on Wednesday to do a collective worship alongside our reverend. They're all looking forward to it, just hearing how his journey started and how the whole of this sanctuary started as well. So that'll be nice on Wednesday, and I'll send you some pictures, Kate.
Brilliant.
Yeah. That's it, really.